What's up, guys? It's Colin with Bicep Blog. Today I'm going to be showing you a few different examples of partial reps. Now, most of the time with bodybuilding, right? I'm concerned with bodybuilding and endurance conditioning because those are the sports that I've done the most and what I know most about, and essentially where I feel like I can design a good program for you. Most of the time, you're not going to be doing partial reps. The reason for that is you want to get full range of motion with that muscle tissue and have a full range of eccentric movement. Falling backwards. And a full range of motion with concentric, right? It makes no sense just to cut range of motion on the bench press. Now, with that being said, there's going to be a caveat to it. Is rarely, right? Sometimes in your program, there's going to be situations where it's okay to do partial reps, or I might even recommend to do that. An example for that may be a set where I do 10 push-ups, right? 10 normal push-ups, or I might do a few push-ups on my knees, right? Okay, let's see, I'm on my 9th rep. Okay, I'm on 9. Okay, let me do my 10th rep. Oh, this is getting super hard. Okay, wow. Okay, now I'm going to go to a bench, and now I'm going to do partial reps. Staying in the bottom range of motion, but focus on my chest, right? Or what I might do is I might go onto my knees and do partial reps in the bottom range of motion. The reason for that is because of the top range of motion on a push-up, right? Although you are locking your chest down, you're losing a little bit of tension in your chest. So if it's the last set, or it's the last group of exercises within your program on the accessories for that day, I might say, okay, I'm really going to try to finish off your guys' chest by doing partial reps after a movement that had full range of motion. That's a rare situation where you might do partial reps. Another example would be if you're weak on the lockout on the bench press. You see these big guys, these powerlifters doing block presses where they have a big pad or a block either attached to the bar or the buddy's holding it there on their chest, and all they're doing is working on the lockout section of that bench press to hopefully strengthen their triceps, right? So bodybuilding is a little bit opposite. We want to try to focus on the part where well, it's not opposite, I shouldn't say that, so contradicting myself. Never mind. A different example of a partial rep that might be beneficial would be the squat, right? Now you can do pile squats. I would argue that's a little more beneficial than doing partial reps in the bottom range of motion, but hey, maybe you're a girl and you're trying to work on your booty, and this action does make sense for you. I'm speaking from experience, right? So what I'm not going to do is focus on this right here, right? There's no hip hinging, right? What I'm instead going to do is go to the very bottom as far as I can with good form, come halfway up, go back down, halfway up, go back down. That's hopefully going to work my glutes more, put more stress on my hips. Now, last thing I want to add to that is there could be an argument made where it's like, okay, well, why not just do a hip hinge movement, which is more specified and geared to work your glutes or doing a hip thrust? That makes sense. I would say if you've already done the exercise selection, such as a hip thrust, right? Hip thrust would be like this. Usually chicks will add weight, right? Come up and thrust up, or an RDL, and you want to add a little bit extra in, or on your last cycle of programs for the past 3 months or 2 weeks, whatever that phase period was, you've already been working on RDLs and hip thrusts. Okay, I've already done as many RDLs and hip thrusts that I can do. I've already squeezed as much juice out of the orange as I have. It's kind of getting redundant at this point unless I'm using super heavy weight. And the fatigue level is getting so high because the loadage, right, the amount of weight that you're using is going up. It might make sense to switch to something where you're doing partial reps on the barbell squat to work on your glutes to train the muscle in a slightly different way. That's going to be partial reps. There's not a lot of situations where you're going to find my programs where I have it, but they do happen from time to time. Guys, I hope that makes sense. If not, please reach out to me.